Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniela DePaula. I'm a PhD student here at MIT, and I'm super excited to welcome you all here today for the panel that will kick off our final day. This is, I think, one of the most important parts of the conference, as we're going to be talking with the people who kind of were directly benefiting through the work that we're doing, students. So I'm really excited to have student perspectives up here today. We have a great group of students, so I will introduce them shortly. But first, I want to introduce our moderator. So this panel will be moderated by Professor Eric Klopfer. Eric is an MIT professor and the director of the Scheller Teacher Education Program, as well as the Education Arcade at MIT. He also serves as the director of MIT's RAISE initiative. His work focuses on the use of educational technologies to promote deeper teaching and learning, especially using games, simulations, computing, and AI. So welcome, Eric. All right, quickly want to introduce the students as well. So first we have Cody Lee, a middle school student from Texas. So you can come up here. We have Moksh from Pennsylvania, USA. We have Carolina, who's a high school student from Brazil. We have Ayan, who's a high school student from the US. And we have Ana Lucia Perez Escalera, a middle school student from Puerto Rico.
Now it's my turn. Okay. Thanks, Daniela, and thanks to all of you for coming here today and speaking with us. I think, as Daniela said, this is exciting because a lot of the work that we do is to engage youth, and it's great to hear their voices. It's such an important part of this conference, and I think it's something that's been unique about it is that we have student voices throughout the conference. Every day I read articles about how AI is affecting students today and how AI is affecting the jobs of the future, and I really think that what that pathway looks like is determined by these people sitting in front of us today. So thanks to all of you for being here. Let's start out with just a quick introduction about yourself, what's your name and what grade you're in, and then either a project you've done with AI that you're proud of, or something you've done with AI that you think is noteworthy. So we'll just go down the line to start.
So hello everyone, my name is Cody Lee, and I'm going into 9th grade this upcoming school year. And one project that I've done was, I presented yesterday, was my app about using AI in rehab.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Moksh Kopikar. I'm a rising junior at Council Rock High School South in Pennsylvania. And I'm excited to be here. Yesterday I presented a paper on basically how AI can be used in education. So like how it can help kids get better at reading and writing and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Carolina. I'm from Brazil. I'm the high school in the 11th grade. And yesterday with my partner, I presented an app about the organ transplantation and the waiting lists.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayan Shah. I'm a rising sophomore at MOT Charter High School in Delaware. And a project that I've done with AI is actually for MIT. It was an MIT AI hackathon where I worked with AI to basically help reduce food waste by helping people find areas they could donate to or just reduce food waste in general as well.
My name is Ana Lucia. I'm 13 years old. I'm in 10th grade. I'm from Puerto Rico. And I have worked in a lot of apps that include AI. But my main focus is AI in sustainability and education.
Great. So I've now heard that you've all been involved in AI, but what originally got you interested in AI? What was it a class? Was it a reading something? What got you interested in it? I'll start actually at that end this time. I'll throw things around. I'll start in the middle sometimes. So over there.
Well, I started, I think, a year or two ago. And well, everyone has to know about AI in these days because it's something that's changing the world. So I had to become part of it. And I started learning in different programs. As a homeschooled student, I love looking for opportunities. So I was getting into courses, classes, workshops, etc. Because I think we should learn about these tools and learn how to use them in a positive way.
For me, I think it was about 2 years ago when ChatGPT 3 first came out. Like, there was a lot of hype on social media about just AI generating new stuff, ideas, recipes, essays. So I first tried it out. I think I tried using a recipe. I gave ChatGPT like a list of ingredients, I believe, and I just said like, make me a recipe, and it actually did. It was actually a solid recipe. I found it really intriguing because how AI could curate answers to people based on their situation, and how it used data from other people that we didn't even know about to help us with our needs, which I found really intriguing. That's really what got me into AI in the first place. And then from there on, I've been working with AI for apps or just in school and day-to-day life with normal tasks, planning stuff.
Yeah, for me, in my school in Brazil, we had this scientific project that we have like entire the 11th grade, and me and my group, we wanted to create something with the artificial intelligence to like have this opportunity just like this to come here and present in MIT. So we became with this idea to have the AI and the education like connected with something that we liked. It was the public health to create this and create an app to come here and have this opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of just agree with what everyone has said so far. I think, like, especially a few years ago when ChatGPT first came out, it just sounded so interesting, and especially now, it's just such a like integral part of our lives. Like, there's no escaping AI. No matter which field you're in, you'll be using AI in some way. And also, my dad, he plays into my interest in AI because he deals a lot with that in his job. I just think that, like, especially where in the future, I feel like it's going to be even more AI, and it's like something everyone should know.
So what really got me into AI was really just the buzz about it, the talk about it, and then during that time, my school, organized something called a passion project, in which all the students would do a project about what they were passionate about. Some did it about pets, some did it about medicine. So I thought, why not do it about AI? And so when I worked with AI to create the project and create like the posters, I really got to experience what it was about and learn all the concepts that I know today.
Great. You said it's hard to escape AI. Does that include in school? Like, how much AI do you sort of experience on a day-to-day basis in your schools?
Yeah, I think especially like in school education, I think AI plays a big part because like I think it's also a big time saver because like rather than using it to cheat, which many people do, it can also be used to like explain tough concepts, and I think you can actually like use it as a tool. So, and it's not just in school too, just like in many different fields, I think it can be used like that to just help you.
How do each of you experience it
I
in
can
your
add
schools?
into that. So I kind of agree with that, where AI should be integrated into school as well. But right now, there's a lot of confusion about if it should be added, if there's like proper usage. But I think it has both sides. If you know how to use it properly, it can serve as a really big game changer. But if you just take information that you get right away and just believe it, it won't really help you because there's a lot of biases or false information that you might get. So if you're able to utilize it, let's say for example, you're doing a project, you ask it to do research, and the sources that it uses to find the information can be used by yourself. Like, you can go dig deeper, find more info. So that way it's easier to find resources, but that way you're also validating information that you're getting. So it just helps in that way as well. So if you fully know how to use it, it's really useful.
Yeah, for me, the AI is definitely right integrated into school, into our daily routine. So it's difficult to escape from the AI, and I think we shouldn't also. But for me, the AI it helps us to get a complex and a base for everything as like work and jobs and something like this, and also like simple things such as finding locations or something else. So I think I agree with him when they said that you should be careful. You should like spend your resources and find different ways to find the same information and to confirm it, but also like integrating them to help and just to be a support of what you want and what you're working or talking about.
Yeah, in my case, I really think should be integrated into schools because it helps really as a complement. I mean, you have your teacher, but also it could be your tutor, and it can help you like do your homework, but in a sense of trying to analyze, helps you to develop your computational thinking or critical thinking. So try to kind of like motivate students to use AI not as to make their work, but to help them analyze and understand really deeply what they're working with.
So I go to a public school in Texas, and the school gives all students a computer to use for like academics and to do assignments. But because they have control over the computers, they ban things like games and also AI. So anything related to AI, whether it's ChatGPT or even AI-related articles, they ban because they don't think students will use them properly. But I really disagree, and I really think that we should include AI and let students experience it as it has like really good use in homework. But even if that we do that, there's always gonna be an aspect of cheating, and that's why I think it's so important to educate students and even teachers about the proper usage of AI.
Yeah, I kind of want to add on to that. I also had a position paper like 2 days ago talking about this because AI is basically integrated into day-to-day life. There's like AI and chatbots, search engines, social media. So we can't really stop students from using AI because it's going to happen regardless. So rather than just trying to stop them and failing, we should inform them, educate them about how to use it properly, what information should you trust, how to dig deeper about what you get, and rather than just stopping it in general. Because at this point, it's going to become a larger part as the years go on. AI is becoming more integrated with society, so just stopping that doesn't really help, but rather helping and educating students how to use it would be a better approach in schools as well.
You talked about, they think you might cheat. I heard that sort of phrase used or some things around that a few times. And it sounds like all of you are sort of like very aware of like the positive ways of using AI. I'll ask two sort of related questions. One is, do you see that same attitude in your peers? And if not, how do you get more kids to think in these sort of positive ways? I'll let anybody start this time.
Yeah, I think that we have this a lot of misconception that using AI is ultimately like cheating or something like this, and we really needed to change this view about it because, like when I'm with my friends doing a work and the professors, they're always like seeing the rate of the AI that we used or something, but my school especially they don't like allows using the chat gpt or things to do the entire work, but they want you to use the text just to elaborate more the text or create like images to our project or something like this. So I think that you need to know that you need to be responsible using the AI. You need to have this conscience that it's a thing that you can do all by yourself. You can't really cheat, but it's different when you use responsibly and when you change and use for bad ways.
I think kind of going back to what I said earlier, students cheat using AI because they just think whatever they get is accurate without like fully understanding what they're actually getting. So informing them about like how it can be factually wrong, it can be true, there can be a lot of biases, just false information would probably allow them to like understand and prevent cheating in a sense, but rather use it as a supplemental for their research and work.
Yeah, I think many people thinks that AI is always correct, and no, it has a lot of biases. And even though they're trying to cheat, sometimes it doesn't even go as they want because they don't double check. And I think that's something very important to educate them about the potential limitations that it has and how to use it responsibly. Again, like I don't know, doing flashcards or helping them on the preparation for their projects. I think they should learn about that way of using AI, not for to do your work, but to complement you.
Yeah, I just to like build on to what everyone said, like I think really the main thing about AI is using it responsibly because even if you like make it write an entire essay for you or something, it does have its limitations, and at the end of the day it's really just like a robot. Like it's not going to be perfect and it lacks that like personal voice. So I just feel like rather than using it like to do all your work, it's just important to like educate people that it should be used more of like a tool to help you rather than like, you know, do everything for you.
Yeah, and that's really what students need to learn is to know the limitations of AI and how to overcome them and use it as a helpful tool. Like for example, sometimes when I'm studying for tests, I let ChatGPT generate some test questions that could be related, and that's just one way that you could use AI, and it really helped me study and prepare for tests.
So here's a hypothetical question. You have a 3-page paper due tomorrow in your history class, and you forgot about it until just now. And this is a lot of our nightmares. So how do you use AI or not use AI in sort of approaching that challenge in the next 24 hours?
I think a good way to approach that would be to use AI to find sources that you could use for the essay, rather than just because you're in a rush, having AI create it for you. You can use it as a sample, create a sample essay, and use the sources it provides that you use for its essay, and dig deeper into those, use it as an outline, and fully understand what you're writing about. So that way it's a easier and faster process, but also ensures that you know what you're talking about and you can validate the information that you have in the presentation or the essay.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. Ask AI to look for sources where I can look for the information, and also, I don't know, write like bullet points that I can guide myself to start writing the essay.
Yeah, like she just said, the AI can be wrong sometimes. So you just letting him do all by itself, you're not making sure that this essay is good or making sure that this essay has like all the elements that need to have. So you need to make sure that everything that you said to the AI has already like the arguments, has already like the main thing of your job. So I think that of course we need to find resources works, but also things to complement your work, not do it by yourself, like finding images or complementing some text like with different words and something like this.
Yeah, I feel like stuff like looking for resources, getting inspiration for the essay, I feel like that kind of stuff, it's okay to use AI because it's not like you're making it do the work for you, or just like trying to get the ball rolling, so to speak. But I feel, yeah, another reason why you shouldn't just completely use AI for something like that is because, like, I think it is pretty obvious at the end, like, whether you've used AI or not. And if there were, like, say, other kids who had the same idea and used AI, your papers would be very similar. You'd probably get caught. So I just think it's, like, kind of irresponsible, and really the best way to go about it is to, like, lead you in the right direction, but most of the work has to come from you yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever I use AI, I usually give it bullet points and like the main ideas of each essay that I write, so it has a guideline. And what I find AI to be very good at is actually grammar and making it sound good. And with using that, you can actually create a very good essay.
So I'm your friend, and I had the same problem as you did, and we come to school, and I say, I just had ChatGPT write the whole thing for me. I proofread it looked good. What do you say to me?
You're kind of going to get caught because you're probably not the only one that used ChatGPT. So there's going to be some other kids that forgot it to the last minute. So there's definitely going to be a similarity between your work and the other people's work. So, and if someone asks you a question, just because you proofread it doesn't mean that you fully understand what you wrote about. So you're going to get busted either way. So rather than just using it to cheat and just being lazy, use AI, but in a way that adds onto your knowledge about what you're writing about, what you're working on, to further build your knowledge and also ensure that it's done in a faster way.
Especially if it's a presentation or something like this, when you use the entire thing with ChatGPT, you normally don't even like read something or know what you're talking about. So it's pretty obvious that when you don't know what you're talking about, it will show in your presentation. So the educators, they know what ChatGPT is, they know how to use it, not only the students. So I think that they can see the language that you're using, the text, like everything that you have, and how you present. If you're just reading or you know what you're talking about, your posture, those things shows if you know or not the top subject that you're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like as long as you have knowledge on the topic, and like he said, like if you just use it to correct grammar, spelling mistakes, that's not that big of a deal because like the content is still there, like you still know what you're talking about. So yeah, I just think like as long as you're knowledgeable on the topic, it's fine if you use it just to like make it look a bit nice, you know.
Yeah, because usually text made by AI is very perfect and it takes that human part of it. And I think that will be easily get caught off.
Yeah, so whenever ChatGPT, for example, if you copy and pasted the prompt straight into ChatGPT, responses are going to look very similar and they're going to cite basically the same sources. And so the teacher can compare similarities. And to add on, you could actually just use an AI detector. If you didn't run the response through a humanizer, you can just use the AI detector.
Yeah, many people think that using paraphrasers for AI generated text will work, and actually they don't work.
Yeah,
You will get caught.
most of the time it's just gonna show like 50-60% AI, so you're gonna have to do it either way. Might as well just do it the first time. And rather than just putting the entire prompt, another way, like if you feeling too lazy anyways, just to have it right for you, it's better to like do a bit of research, have a few points that you understand about the topic, and make a list from about your ideas, and then have it generate up based on your idea rather than the prompt. So that way you're still getting understanding, but it's a more efficient way, kind of.
Okay, I'll write my essay next time. Thank you. So you mentioned that that AI tools are banned on the school computers that you have, and even like discussion about AI sounds like it's banned. You all are invited to his school to make a presentation to convince the school that they should override this policy and allow students to use AI. I'll be the school and I'll say, well, you know, the reason why we don't do that, we understand that AI is part of the future, but you know, driving is part of your future too, and we're not letting you drive now as kids. We want you to be safe younger. We think when you're older, you'll know how to use those things, but now you're young, you don't know how to use them, so we're just going to ban them. So what's your response as a team to say, like, why should they unban AI on these school computers?
Well, I would answer, or I would say, well, okay, you should unban it, but besides letting them use AI, you have to add on your curriculum or add a class to show them how to use AI. Because if you're just letting them use AI without any type of control, they're just going to cheat, and they're just going to use AI on their advantage, and it's not going to do any type of change. So I would say, okay, you can unban it, but you have to do a type of class or curriculum to show them how to use it on a positive way and as a tool.
I kind of want to add on to the driving part you said about how just because driving is a part of the future, they don't let you drive. But they do teach about driver's ed. And when you get to a point, they start teaching you about how to drive, proper rules, safety. So they don't just ban driving just because you're not old enough. You still have information about it. You're like, it's part of your day-to-day life. So AI could be treated in a similar way where, okay, you need to like understand what's going on with it. It should be taught in schools. They should be guiding you towards the future usage of it, or just usage in school as well, rather than banning it totally.
Yeah, to unban, I think that the school needs to make sure that all these students know the basic of the AI and how to use properly. So I think that at first the school, like she said, a subject or something like this, just to teach the students how to use like ethically and with responsibility. So I think that this first thing and this main thing should be learned before they start use, because otherwise they are just like playing games in the middle of the class and they are like doing random stuff. They're not using the AI properly and for study, for resources or something like this, that what they should use just to complement what the educators like just said about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think like one of the biggest things about AI is using it responsibly and ethically, and that's why it's important to like also educate, hold workshops, AI lectures and stuff, and just like spread the word that AI doesn't have to be like bad. That you can look at it from a positive light too. It's not like all negative. And I just feel like if you just raise that awareness, and if people know like all the good that can come out of AI, they can stop using it in bad ways.
Yeah.
Sorry. I heard a lot of talk about like educating students, but I also think that we should also educate teachers, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones who teach in class, and as if they know how to use AI properly, they can actually integrate it into coursework and projects to show like real life examples on how to use it.
Yeah, wanted to add that usually many people think that AI is the bad thing and AI will keep developing and it's going to be even better. But to be honest, and as much as the problems that real world problems that we have is that we are the ones who have the control, because yes, AI is a robot and it has the data, it has the information, but it's in us, in our minds, to use it correctly or for a bad to bad use.
Yeah, I think that the educators and the professors and those things, they need to know how to use them and incorporate in their classes and what they teach for. So, for example, if you're using the AI to create images or to involve the students, they will not even like want to get their cell phones and play games. They will want to be part of the class. They will want to participate. They will want to learn. So I think that using the AI like of a part of the class, a part of the what you're teaching for, I think it will involve the students and want them to learn more about it and learn for like wanting to have those things and wanting to do complex jobs and basically help them to understand and want to learn about the AI.
Kind of point of like how AI is not always negative. That can be said for a lot of things, like about how a lighter, for example, it can be dangerous when not used properly by kids, so you just can burn yourself. But it's still used on a daily life, because people can understand how it can make things easier. You don't have to manually light a fire. That's why you learn how to use the lighter rather than just avoid it totally. AI, in the same sense, shouldn't be avoided, but rather understand there are risks, but we need to learn how to tackle those risks to move on from that point.
All right. Well, you've partially convinced me at the school to implement AI. Imagine that you've only partially convinced me. And I'm gonna just sort of try a couple things. What are the first things that we should try in the school? What are the most important tools that we should provide access to? Is it like image generation, ChatGPT, Perplexity, like coding tools? What's the first thing we should provide students?
I think it should be image generation, because it's just an intriguing thing to see, because you've always seen people take pictures, draw them, but seeing it come out of a computer, like it's being generated completely on its own, that can be a really intriguing thing to see when you first learn about it. That can be a doorway of sorts where, oh, you're not really getting false information. It's just an image created by what you prompted it. So it can serve as a gateway into more tools like ChatGPT, where you can actually use it for your work or your day-to-day basis.
And with that, I would add a class or a workshop showing how, okay, we have image generation and that's amazing, but we also have artists who are kind of suffering this era of AI. So tell them about that, and also detecting AI. I lead a group of students, and I usually show them a little bit about AI, and we did once a Kahoot about, okay, let's try to identify which image is generated with AI and which is not. And it's usually very hard to identify. So also that could be used, I mean, there is no false information with image generation. However, if it's not used and tagged correctly, it could be misleading to different things, especially in social media. So show them about that.
Here in the first day, they showed us about the Gemini and how they can create like videos and images. And I was sitting here and I was seeing everyone like in shock and surprised of what the videos are showing and how they can create like all by AI. So I think that they could start showing these videos and these images and how they can create things that it was just in your imagination. You can just like think about it and you couldn't like picture and see something in the real like world and really in the screen. So I think that showing that these possibilities now can be available and can be used, it's a great way to start.
And I want to say something, even though some AI are banned and most AI are banned, students and teachers actually found some loopholes. And,
No way.
Yeah. And some school applications actually include image generation, like you guys said. And we actually use that to, like, for example, we had to create a new product in our class, and we actually used the image generation to create an image of it.
Yeah, wait, I just want to make sure that I'm like understanding the question correctly. Your question was which one would be the best to start implementing, right?
Yes.
Like ChatGPT or
Yep.
yeah. So I actually believe that something like ChatGPT would be a bit more useful than image generation because, like, especially like she had brought up, like with image generation, the problem is a lot of false information can be spread through social media. Like I personally see on Instagram and other various social medias a lot of images which you think are real are actually fake, and I feel like there's more potential for harm with something like image generation. I feel like ChatGPT overall would be like the most like useful because it can help with so many different things.
I kind of want to go back to the Gemini thing because I agree with what he said about how ChatGPT can be useful, but I think before we start teaching kids, we should raise a level of awareness and how the Gemini videos, they were like realistic to a very high degree. It would be pretty hard to tell if it's a real video, if it's AI generated. So students need to be aware of how they shouldn't just trust whatever they see, but rather learn to question it. And that way, when they do learn information from, let's say, ChatGPT, they're more cautious, they're paying more attention. So I feel like image generation could raise that level of awareness in students. So that could be a good place to start.
Yeah, I also think that showing these images can show the students how far the AI can go, like how far they can imagine things and just create it like in a click and in one moment. So I think that this is also an awareness of how they can go and how they can explore this too.
I also want to say that whenever you create images, you have to be very specific on what you in the prompt, and that could actually teach students how to change and mimic to change like a prompt and like make it so that it's actually helpful for them.
Yeah, actually, prompting is something very important, especially for students, and in the way we want to show them how to use AI. Prompting is very important because, especially when we're trying to write things or do some work, we want or prepare for an exam, for example. We just want them to prompt correctly so they actually know how to use it as a tool and tell them don't do my work but actually act as a tutor and tell me make a flashcard make basically resume this and bullet points and tell me the most important parts that I should know about it.
So several of you have mentioned wanting your teachers to know more. Imagine that we sort of like could invite them here this afternoon for half a day, a bunch of teachers from your school, and we ran a workshop for them. What would you teach them in that workshop? You guys all are running that workshop. What would you teach them?
I want to kind of teach them about the impact of AI in real world situations because I'm part of an organization as well called Regeneration, and we have a different part initiative called Routine where we use AI to kind of help with farming as well. It's based in California where we help we have provide foods from farms to like local areas where local people that really need it, but it can be challenging to sometimes utilize those resources. So there's a way like we have QR codes where they can learn different ways to prepare them, nutritional values. So AI is being integrated in everyday life. So we need to understand how that works and prepare for that. So having teachers fully understand that would make them more inclined to use it in classrooms as well, because you can't really just say, oh, they'll learn about it when they grow up, when they get out of school. It has to be slowly built up. So seeing how it's making an impact in the real world can be really changing for teachers and how they might want to now integrate it part of their classes.
Oh yeah, I think AI can. Sorry, I think AI can be super useful for teachers, specifically because teachers like they have a lot of grading and a lot of other very repetitive, monotonous tasks. And also for me, my mom is a special ed teacher, so she has to write these things called IEPs, and that takes a lot of time. She's often up late at night just working on those IEPs. I just think if there was some way to like automate it through AI or like get it done faster, it'd just be a huge time saver. So yeah, apart from students being able to leverage AI, I feel like teachers can definitely like reap its benefits as well.
I want to give an example of how my teacher used it. So my teacher creates a lot of slides to explain stuff, and what she does is actually she inputs all the text content that she wants to use in this in like like a text formatter, and then she inputs it into the AI, and the AI will actually generate the slides for her, and so it can look good and the design looks well.
Yeah, I think that we needed also to like open a little bit of our world to the teachers because the students use the AI differently than the teachers. So I think that we needed to show them also how we use and for what we use to make sure that they know how to like approach us with the AI and how to like incorporate that in their teachings.
Yeah, definitely. I think an important part would be showing them how can it help them on their daily work and how it can simplify their life by integrating it in their classes, like he said on the slides, and working basically translating different text and information on a language that they can understand very easily. I think that would be really, really good for them, and but also showing them, like she said, what could be the possible not really positive ways that students could use it, and of course learning how to approach that and detect it.
I kind of want to go back to the topic of how using AI to grade. Although I agree that it's a really efficient way and helps teachers, and I think teachers should rather focus on helping them supplement their teaching style rather than using it to grade in a sense. Because I feel like if we use AI to grade or just read through assignments, it kind of loses that touch of humanness where it's just we're being graded by a tool. Teachers don't really understand what's happening in their classroom. They kind of start losing control. They become dependent, and all of a sudden, let's say, oh, the teacher decides, I don't want to use AI anymore. This grading style is going to completely shift. That can have an impact on the students. They don't really know what's happening in the classroom. Let's say, for example, a teacher is grading students like throughout the year. They see a decline in a student's grades, their performance. They might think, oh, maybe something's happening. Maybe the students needs help, like support. Something's going at home. But with AI, they kind of lose that touch of understanding about what's happening in their class. So I feel like it should be more of a supplemental for their teaching style rather than substituting their work itself.
Yeah, when you use the ChatGPT and the AI, you normally forgot that they are a tool and they are based on a data and they don't have like opinions and they don't have emotions about it. So I think that wanting them to know that it's a support tool, like he said, not just a thing that is essential and the only thing that you can use to grade the students or something like this, because these students have feelings. They have like an entire year with the teacher and sometimes more than a year. So the teachers have to have this connection and has to know the students pretty well to make sure that they are using them properly and they are being here. So I think that knowing this student is a best and is a good part of teaching, because having this connection with students and with people like in our age in high schoolers, it's a good part of this.
Yeah, I do think there's a possible future in which all the students are writing their essays with ChatGPT and all the teachers are grading the essays with ChatGPT and everybody's completely out of the loop and sitting at home and watching TikTok. It is
Probably happening a lot anyways.
I'm gonna ask for questions from the audience in just a second. I'll just ask you all one more question, which is, we've heard about some of the projects that you've worked on. Tell me something that you're excited about working on in the future, or an idea that you're excited about that sort of relates to AI.
So one thing that I really want to do is that I already presented here yesterday my app with my friend about the like organ transplantation and how to reduce the waiting list. So one of the reasons that we came here is just to listen about and seeing how we can improve this app to use to the community, to improve and to help people. So I really want to like get the comments and the feedback that I have here to complement my app and to produce and like to turn them to Brazil and to make them applying in the daily.
I kind of agree with what she said about how a thing for my project was about raising awareness of how to use AI in a proper way and responsible way. I kind of want to focus on raising awareness for that because we can't just avoid that topic. It's becoming a bigger part of daily life as we go on. So just raising awareness, whether it be in schools, to the public, working on projects related to that. Because in a sense, even today, we're talking about how AI is useful, but we need to understand how to use it, raising awareness for that. I want to continue working towards that. So whether it be in schools, because like I'm going to be in school for another 3 years, especially high school, and then another 4 years of college. So just implementing that to aid myself in the future in a way as well, but also help the public as it becomes more of a prominent role in society.
That's what I thought, and I'm still in school many, many years later.
Hopefully not that long.
Well, in my case, I would like to keep learning about AI and more advanced skills on it, and to keep educating other kids about it, because I think that we should pass the knowledge and everything we learn. And that's one of my passions, teaching other people to use technology, to code, to use AI. So, of course, I would like to do research on it. Projects, papers, but also integrating that community part and integrating students and educators.
Yeah, so for my future direction, I actually presented 2 papers yesterday because my brother, he was supposed to be here, he couldn't, unfortunately. But anyways, like the app that I built, that I was the primary author of, that was about like helping students prepare for standardized test exams, because a lot of times that's overlooked. Kids don't often prepare for those kind of tests. Also just to like help kids improve reading, writing skills. So as of now, my app really is fixed upon this one test called the PSSA, which is in Pennsylvania. It's like everyone has to take it in 8th grade. And I was thinking like, why just stop at PSSAs? I can also extend it to things such as the SAT or even other subjects such as math, science. There's like so many, there's a lot more potential. And I just see like with AI, there's scope for a lot more. Um, my brother's project, on the other hand, was about, he basically made an app that like crowdsources notes. So it takes notes from all different people, and it from there you can turn those notes into like flashcards, test prep materials, etc. I feel like for that, a good future direction would be sort of having you like record a teacher's lecture and having the lecture be transcribed, so that can be converted into those flashcards. So then it's like less work for YouTube, because all you have to do is just like record the lecture, and that can become test prep. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to add on. He actually mentioned a type of AI called automatic speech recognition, and I really want to go into that because AI is very broad-reaching. It's not just about ChatGPT. It's about like I used a post model, this automatic speech recognition, and there's a lot of ways AI is in our society that you don't even know about. And ChatGPT is just one example of that. And by learning all sorts of these, we can actually understand it and understand how it impacts society better.
Yeah, and also I would like to add that learning how to use AI in a positive way, but also learning how to use it enough, because we just can't do everything like we were talking before. We can use it for everything, and also considering its impact on the environment, which is something I'm really passionate about. I would like to learn and show people the ways we could use AI into sustainability, because it has potential, and we can actually, it could give us levers to create more solutions towards real world problems in like environmental concerns.
Great. Any questions from the audience for these youth leaders of tomorrow? Back there. You want to come down to there's a mic over here. Okay, go ahead. We need to record it. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi. So I'm interested to know if you would like to have a separate class in school on AI. And if yes, what do you think it should be taught in this class? What do you think are the most important topics to be taught?
In my school, we have this class called Maker, that is literally a class that you can like create projects and talk about the STEM things and talk about real world problems. So I think that all these things in my school, they are helping with the AI, and they show us AI opportunities to have this like specific class twice a week to just use them and create random projects of whatever you want to solve real world problems. And I think this is a good way to introduce the AI in a positive way.
I want to go back to what she said. Kind of, our school doesn't really have a program, but my position paper focused around this about how there should be integrated into schools also as well, about collective action-based learning. That's the term we used, about how we should work in groups kind of to tackle real-world problems using AI, where we use AI to curate solutions to problems like, let's say, food waste for local communities, mental health, but also have a human aspect where we need to understand the traditional values of that area, the moral values. So we need to learn how to combine AI with human morals. So there should be a class just where we can run projects to help communities on a small scale, or it can eventually lead to a larger scale as well.
Yeah, and to add on, like, to really let students understand about AI, I feel like the best way is to just get a hands-on approach and create projects about AI, because by letting students create projects, they can really learn the impact that it has.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. In my case, I'm a homeschooled student, so I can take whatever class I want. But yeah, I definitely think it should be included on schools, and especially like how he said, including that human part of it to understand and use it specifically not for fun, but with purpose and with conscience, sorry, to solve real world problems.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if there was a class for AI, it should mainly be just focused on all the good AI can do. Also, tying back into what we said about ethical use of AI, and also I think the projects was a pretty good idea. Um, I also think it would be good to raise awareness on, like, especially today, there's so many AIs out there, and each of them can be used for something different. Like, for example, I just found out about this AI called Lovable, which you literally just give it a prompt and it can build an app for you. So I think it's a huge time saver if you want to build an app. And it's not just that, there's many other such AIs. So also just like raise awareness about all these different AIs that exist, because we should be using them and they can really like help us out.
Let's go to a question on this side.
Thank you guys for the panel. This question's like specifically for again like ages like us. As we like every day we're getting older and we have to decide about majors in college and eventually our jobs. What's your guys' take on like AI and careers over the future and the importance of that, and specifically the human AI symbiosis that needs to be implemented?
I definitely think it's going to become a integral part of the future as well, where most jobs utilize AI, whether it be to streamline work or just manage their data. But there also needs to be a way to monitor it and guide the way AI is used. So there's always going to be a human aspect in jobs to kind of overlook that it's not doing the work wrong, or it's just not abusing the power it has, kind of.
Yeah, I think that the AI is definitely not just only an exclusive decision maker. So the AI cannot decide or create jobs by herself. So I think that the AI is definitely being like incorporated to another like things that already exist and careers. So I think definitely they will be incorporated in careers like famous careers such as the law, medicine, something like this. But we'll definitely have like products specific to be and like use the AI, such as engineering, like technology engineering or something like this, that would definitely be more involved in our daily and be more like wanted by the people and the students.
Yeah, definitely. I think AI will take a lot of jobs. However, we still need that human part, which controls the AI. We can't be controlled by AI. We have to control the AI, and I think we should have. There's probably going to be a lot of careers that focus on that specifically, in the different areas of careers in general. I mean, I think there should be always a specific job, which is this person who controls the AI, and decides over them, of course. So I think it is going to be part of our jobs. However, we need always a person or the whole team knowing how to control it and how to decide over it.
Yeah, I really agree with what she said because I think like AI, it should be like a tool. We should be using AI, and there should be like a human person that's like actually controlling it, so you can like keep it going in the right direction. So yeah, I just really agree with what she said.
And specifically on like special fields like medicine or something that needs like a human to supervise, because a human life is on the line, and the AI messing up cannot be an option. And by having a human to actually correct it, that is very important for the safety of us.
I kind of want to give an example for what I talked about as well, about how humans and AI need to work together. I'm interested in finance, so as an example for trading, in a sense, AI can be used for analyzing trends and just seeing where the market's moving, in a sense. But market doesn't always follow a pattern. There can be other factors, like political factors, that humans need to understand. Because even right now, the economic of the U.S. itself as well isn't really following a pattern that it always has. So just understanding that part as well, that AI can help us analyze stuff, but we have to follow other patterns as well to add on to the information that AI is giving to us.
Great, Mark.
I love how thoughtful you all have been and are about your, your uses of AI and the uses of others of AI. But I'm also wondering if you have any thoughts about sort of the higher level of societal and environmental impacts, sort of take it away from your individual uses, but sort of the society as a whole. If you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I really like that question because as I was talking before, there is a big environmental impact with using AI, and that's why I say we shouldn't use AI for fun necessarily. I see there's a lot of people in social media that use AI to see yourself in 50 years, or this trend that came up with the Ghibli style. Absolutely everyone was using AI to do their images, and not only the environmental impact that it had to generate all those images, but also this controversy that happened with the creators of that style, which comes up with that society impact, as well as definitely even the CEO of ChatGPT said, okay, guys, calm down. This is burning out our servers, which is very concerning that people just tries to get in those trends, and it just affects our planet, and it's just for fun. So that's why we should also learn how to use AI with conscience and with purpose.
I want to address like a big misconception, and it's that AI is like gonna make us dumber and gonna make society dumber. But I just want to make a parallel to calculators, because I heard from some like older folks that that AI is kind of like the introduction of a calculator, and a lot of them think back then that AI, that calculators were gonna cause like students to become dumber and society to not know like what 3 times 3 is. But now, as calculators are integrated into like schoolwork and into society, that's not the case. That calculators didn't make society dumber and actually helped improve.
I kind of want to add on to that. There's also been research about how over-reliance on AI can isolate kids and how it can degrade emotional and social skills. But another way to tackle that is how to work in a group of sorts where you're working with other people to, let's say, solve a problem. That way you're also having usage of AI to understand a problem, but you're also not isolating yourself with just the AI. So you have views from a different variety of people as well. That's keeping you engaged in a sense.
Yeah, I agree that it has a misconception that the AI like turn us into dumb people, but I also think that the AI, if you're not careful, the AI turn us into people that want things immediately, like want to like quick answers and want information really quick. So you need to be careful of how you use AI and what kind of information you're looking for, and especially the image things that she said the AI can help us like create a new utopia that do not exist, and people wanting the world to become this is really like a worry thing, because the people can transform their world, and you think that we're not probably gonna happen, and they're like trying hard things and using resources that are not available for us.
Yeah, so I think your question was like how AI would shape society, and I think that's like it's going to be like a very mixed. There's going to be both negatives and positives, obviously, but like from my perspective, I think AI can actually be used to revive a lot of dying languages, because especially now there's countless languages which either don't have a script or people just aren't speaking it as much, and I feel like this could actually be a good impact on society, because also personally, like my mother tongue, which it's called Konkani language, that language is also like a dying language, and it doesn't have a script. So I just think like AI can be used with this language too, to just kind of make sure that the language doesn't die. So because if the language dies, the culture dies with it. So it can also, I think AI can also keep a lot of cultures alive.
That's a really good point. I want to add something really quick about how they were introducing something where you're dying once, like you can, people who passed away, if you have their voice recordings where AI can simulate that. So AI can also serve as a way to preserve information and just tradition or what you value most as a society as well.
Great. I think we don't have, unfortunately, enough time for the rest of the questions. Thank you for volunteering to ask questions, and thank to all the students here for their wonderful answers. This was fantastic.